Hello everybody, it's George from LGW3 Orchids and Exotics. So today I'm going to go ahead and attempt another flasking process here. So if you recall on my channel, I had posted, it was probably going back a year ago, I had attempted some flasking, actually did it another 2 or 3 times thereafter. No success. I did not have contamination. I believe it was the first 2 attempts. The 3rd attempt, I basically took plain old seed in a bag and said to hell with it. Let me just go ahead and give it a shot and throw the seed in as is without trying to clean the seed with hydrogen peroxide. And yeah, as you can guess, that was a complete failure. Probably not the best idea I've had. And anyway, since then, I've also upgraded some of my equipment. I have a new mini Laminer Flo Hood. I also have a flasking terrarium that I set up. I want to go ahead and do a little bit of in-depth, closer look at both of these and explain how they work and just the setup that I used. And then we'll go ahead and we'll attempt the flasking. Okay, so as you can see, this is the mini Laminer Flo Hood. It is, I guess the brand is Relife. It's basically a $125 unit off Amazon. You can see up there are the lights. Pretty cool. It's got a variable fan here. You can hear that. It's a HEPA filter. Here's the button for the on-off for the unit itself, including the lights and the fan. And it also comes with lights with 2-mode operation with the switch here. You can switch between dust mode, where while you're cleaning this, you can actually see any areas of dust a little better. And then you could switch it into normal white light. It looks blue, but that's only because of the base there. It's actually just white light. So seemed like a pretty good investment. You know, I was working out of that small plastic box and was a great idea for a while, but it's very difficult to work out of that. You know, it's cloudy and just a little bit difficult to work in. You can see this thing. It's got a nice little airflow I can feel. So this is the Laminer Flo Hood we're going to use, and I'll go ahead and show you the terrarium. Okay, so over here I have is the flasking terrarium. You can see right now there's 8 flasks in there. They're all freshly added with agar. Everything's ready to go here. This will be tonight's work, filling these, getting these all set up. The agar's in there, all nice and solidified. And what I did was, this is actually a reptile terrarium, by the way. It's got a nice little door on it, opens. I actually took the reflective foil that you would use in a house. I put it on the outside here, and I surrounded the entire box with this. Works basically for 2 things. One, it helps keep the heat in. I am in a basement, and it gets down to about 60 here, but it can actually get a little cooler. And I do have a heating mat in there, and it radiates through the bottom, which does a pretty good job heating. I have the lights here. These are just some $20 lights each that I got over at Lowe's Garden Center. And everything is hooked up to this thermostat. So you can see right now it's about 70.5 degrees. And I have the setting at about 75. This heating mat doesn't seem like it's going to be able to maintain that temperature. But with the lights on, it does actually generate a bit of heat. And I'm hoping it will definitely get up to about 75, 76 degrees, which is optimal for germination. So this is the setup on this. And I guess we'll get rocking and rolling here on actually flasking up the seed. So let's go ahead and start the process. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is go ahead and put our gloves on. We'll do that quick. Not too picky about the type of gloves, as long as they're not the gloves with powder on them. If there's powder on the inside, it should be fine. Just don't take it off and cause any of that powder to come out in any of the mix that you use, if you can help it. I'm going to go ahead and pour some hydrogen peroxide in here. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is take one of my syringes here. And actually, before I do that, let me get some paper towel. All right, got our paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and just spray this down a little bit. Just want to ensure everything's pretty clean. Just hit the back a little bit here. Nothing like the smell of bleach. All right. Go ahead and make sure Flo Hood is on. Clean that good. Any surfaces that you're going to be working with, you just kind of want to make sure you hit them with a little bit of this bleach cleaner. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and I want to examine the seeds if I can. I do have this mini microscope here. I'm going to go ahead and power this on. All right. And I guess the first ones we'll do, this is Schomburgkia linwood. You can see here the seeds are pretty much just like dust. If you can see it up against the light there. Very, very fine. There's probably millions of seeds scattered in here. I am going to go ahead and see if I can look at a couple of these under the microscope, just to kind of get an idea of whether or not the seed looks viable. All right. And while I'm here, I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to use this blue background here to just examine my seed a little bit. And you want to be very careful not to get these things all over. I'm going to go ahead, take a look at that, lower it down. There we go. All right, pretty cool. So I'll throw some pictures up in the corner here for you to see of some of the seeds. Pretty cool looking. They seem to look pretty good overall. Take a couple snapshots here. See if I can zoom in a little more. Come back and focus here. There we go. Here's a couple shots up close. Again, gonna do the focus. I'll put that picture up as well. So, all right, so Schomburgkia linwood. Again, no real way to tell whether or not the seeds are viable, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot anyway. So what I'm gonna do, first thing, is I'm going to pull the syringe out. And by the way, I'm actually doing 3 types of orchids tonight. I'm only going to show the process for the one. Subsequent process will be the same for all the other ones. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of the hydrogen peroxide in here. I'm going to fill it up to about 7 milliliters, I guess. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try to scoop these seeds out. Oh yeah, here we go. Now there are literally millions of seeds here. They're actually so small. It's like they're like statically charged here. Okay. We go ahead and pour a little bit more peroxide in. We go ahead and put the plunger in. I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to be reusing any of that seed, so I'm going to go ahead and plunge a little bit of this. Plunge it down to about 4 milliliters. I'm going to go ahead, basically start shaking the seed here, trying to clean it off. I'm going to go ahead and shake that a bit. Now, it's real important. You want to make sure you try to get all the areas that you can on the seed. Again, it's not going to take much seed to really get this process going. There's so many seeds in here, really hard to tell, but there are a lot of seeds in here. And just going to keep doing this for the next few minutes and then go to the next step. Now we're going to go ahead and grab a clean flask. It's been about 5 minutes, give or take. All right. First thing you want to do is, again, put the flask in there. I want to go ahead and just spray around the lid. Make sure you give a good wipe around here. Make sure the flask itself is clean. Now these have a good seal on them. I'm going to go ahead and gently open that up. All right. And while I'm here too, I'm going to try to dump out some of this water. Keep in mind, we're going to have some water coming in here when we put the seeds in here. So I don't want too much water to be on there. And then I'm going to go ahead, give it one more shake. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit out the tip here, and then gently put a couple drops. Okay. Looks like we definitely have some seed in there. I'm going to go ahead and seal it. All right, that's it. Put that over there. Grab another flask. Repeat the same process. All right, that's really about it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an extra piece of saran wrap on there with a rubber band just to make sure that the jars are sealed good. Put everything in there, and I'm going to leave it in the terrarium to hopefully germinate in 4 to 8 weeks. I'll keep everybody updated on the progress. Again, it's trial and error. It's not a highly complicated process, but you have to make sure that you have 1, good seed, 2, no contamination, that everything's pretty sterile, and 3, patience. So this is not something that can be rushed. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out tonight to watch me attempt this process again. If you have any questions, or if you want me to post some links as far as where you can order some of this stuff, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know down in the comments section, and I will update everybody soon. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night.